nothings.
I want you to understand that we are in the middle of an epidemic of left-wing violence. They're attacking ICE. They shot Charlie. It's happening all over the country. We have these Free Palestine people running around trying to burn down the Pennsylvania governor's mansion. On and on
then
and
maybe
on.
The president,
it's not Trump's fault
the president
that
of the
the left
States
is radicalized to the point of saying, we're done talking and we're going to start shooting.
Scott, is Trump amping down the tensions?
Amping down the tensions?
Yeah, is he taking the tensions down? Is he trying to do that?
I think he's mad that his friend got murdered, if you want that.
The job of the president is to tone down the rhetoric.
Sorry.
Yeah, number one.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome into the show. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. That's a damn good question. A damn good question. Everybody wants to blame it on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is amping up the violence in America. Donald Trump is the cause for the assassination of conservative Charlie Kirk, right? Donald Trump is responsible for January 6th. Donald Trump is responsible for this. Donald Trump. Guys, it's not a two-way fence, okay? It's not on two sides of the aisle. And I applaud. I don't know who that gentleman was, but I applaud the hell out of him for going in the lion's den, especially on CNN, and going like literally diving deep into what really is going on in America. Again, it's not a two-way fence, folks. Okay, I'm gonna get into this, guys. Really, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot to talk about on Savaged Unfiltered. Be right back, guys.
Warning: this show contains strong language, brutal opinions, and zero apologies given. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, where truth gets raw, opinions stay real, and nothing is off limits. This isn't your average podcast. It's the unfiltered conversation you've been craving. Politics, culture, chaos, we're diving into it all. No scripts, no safe spaces, just savage takes and real talk. You're in the right place. Strap in. It's time to get unfiltered. Savage.
Hey guys, welcome back. If you guys heard the beginning of the show, everybody wants to blame President Trump. They want to blame conservative America. They want to blame right wingers. It's the right wingers that are affecting America, and we must hold the conservatives responsible for inciting violence and mayhem in this country, folks. Again, the other side of the fence is very, very green on a lot of what I'm about to say. That grass is green as hell. I could see it from here. Wow. Now, the other side of the fence. Let's look on the other side of the fence. Do you see any green grass, folks? No, I don't see green grass. You know what I see? I see a bunch of yellow, dead grass of corrupted, communist dictators that are wanting to undermine our republic, right? So spare me the bullshit right now about how it's on the right. Okay, I don't want to hear that garbage. I really don't, folks. Cut the crap out and literally just take responsibility. People on the other side, on the left, take responsibility for once. Before I bring in, I have a scheduled guest in here. former candidate for Florida's 14th district that ran last year as a libertarian. I'm going to bring him in, Mr. Nate Snyder. Okay, but before I bring him in, guys, okay, because I'm sure he's got a lot on today's discussion, right? Again, going back to my statement before, just take a little responsibility and just admit that it's coming from left-wing activists, left-wing politicians, left-wing organizers, left-wing mobsters, left-wing media. All these people are influencing the hell out of everything you're seeing. The crime is up in their districts. The murder rate is up in their districts. The carjackings are up in their districts. You notice where I paused there, right, folks? Because I'm not seeing a damn thing on the right with any of this. Okay? Name me one major area that is right-wing that has the same amount of statistics that I just labeled. I'll wait. Put in the chat, guys. I know I'm streaming live on a lot of major platforms today. Put in the chat. Name me one. And if you can name me one, name your source. State your source, please, so I can look it up my damn self. Because, folks, you are not going to find anything that is right-wing motivated of violence, murder, carjackings, petty crime, none of that. You're not going to find any of it. And if you do, it was probably fabricated. So I want to bring in Nate Snyder into the program. Nate, welcome in. How you doing?
Hey, Savage, how are you?
How's it going? So what's your take on all of this? Everything that's going on? Because I'm sure you're frustrated as hell. We kind of chatted off the air a lot, including other platforms with TikTok panels and stuff. So what's your views on this, Nate? Please.
Well, the question that the left constantly asks when they say, is Trump doing enough to drive down the violence or to stem the violence down? My question to them would be, how can he? They tried to kill him as well. Not only did they kill his friend, but they tried to kill him twice. What more can you say to these people?
Yeah. What more can you say to these maniacs? Because they're lunatics. I mean, I understand we live in a country, that we have to literally be nice to one another. We have to respect each other. But I mean, respect is going out the window, Nate. It really is with these with these scumbag mobsters of lunatics on the left. They want to do the, well, are they still doing the blame game on Donald Trump, or is that more or less over with? They figured they can't win over that argument, so now they're going on to something else. A little bit, you still see, oh, it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is inciting it. How is he inciting it? He is trying to motivate the country to basically say the truth for once as a leader and say that if we are going to unify this nation, we must take accountability to the ones that are promoting it, the ones that are organizing it, right? He's not inciting anything. He's trying to show Americans that, hey, this is where it's coming from, and we must hold people accountable if you want law and order in this nation. I mean, I don't know. You have any views on that, Nate?
Again, what more can you say to these people? You can't. They don't want to listen. They're pre-programmed not to listen. The violent rhetoric becomes more and more and more each day that passes.
Yeah.
You can't calm them down. They are the say one thing, do another party.
Yeah. That's how they're becoming. That's how they're becoming. Now, I want to put up a graphic here with you because I'm sure this caught your attention too, Nate, with Whoopi Goldberg, basically saying the other day on The View that no one silences us. Now, this is in reference to Jimmy Kimmel, basically going into that suspension mode from the network. Okay, and then she made a whole charade just yesterday, I believe. Yeah, it was yesterday. Basically saying, see what they tried to do? They tried to silence us. President Trump tried to infringe Jimmy Kimmel's free speech rights by taking him off the air. No. Donald Trump didn't necessarily take him off the air. It was the network that suspended him. They didn't take him off the air completely, Whoopi. So stop driving up that fucking narrative. It's beyond frustration, Nate. It really is. It's getting to a point where, you want to, like, back in the day, like your grandparents would do the little hello, is anybody in there? Right? I think they made a little mock in like Back to the Future where he's like, hello, McFly. That's what you want to do with these people. You want to call them McFlies because it's all mush up there. No one's behind the wheel, Nate. You know what I mean?
Well, I think a lot of them don't seem to understand how our Constitution works. Freedom of speech allows you to say what you want with regards to the federal government being able to come after you. A private job can fire you if they don't like the color of your shoelaces.
Pretty much, yeah. If it's not blue today, it might be red tomorrow, right? I mean, that's, yeah, you sum that
For
up.
them to sit there and say that Trump did this and Trump doesn't own the network. Trump doesn't decide whether you keep your job or not if you say something stupid. You know what they say? Play a stupid game, win a stupid prize.
Yeah. We got Bones from X chiming in on the comments. He's basically putting this in. I don't understand why we have to be or respectful to these animals. I agree with you, Bones. I really do. I believe that cutesy time is over with. Okay, so I'm stealing that from my good friend Dan Bongino. When he was doing the Dan Bongino show, okay, before he got sworn in as deputy chief of the FBI, and he said that very, very, very accurately, because the time to be cute and be respectful that went out the window like shit 10 years ago when the left got crazily excited with this idea of, going after people that didn't agree with their narratives. And that's what you're seeing right now, So, how do we combat this, Nate? Do we go full force in the lion's den of radicalism and just, trying to, attack them even further? Do we engage more with their rhetoric, or do we step back? There must be, an alternative to how we handle all this.
You're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If you play by their rules, you're prosecuted harder.
Pretty much.
This is what happens when you glorify mental illness instead of treating it.
Yeah.
And with regards to what Bowen said, why do we have to respect these animals or play by, from what I've seen, you handle animals by leaving them in cages.
Yeah. You don't let them out, right? Well, you let them out every now and then, right? To use the bathroom and stuff like that. We have to show some type of compassion, right? But do we show compassion at this point, or you just leave them right in the damn cage?
Bring back mental health facilities,
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying.
Make asylums great again.
Yeah. He's also putting this in the comments. Thank you very much, Bones, for chiming in. Basically says, I say we go all Knights Templar on him. Wow. Bone's going a little dark. He says we should go Knights Templar on them. So a little medieval, I guess, right? Medieval type of torture, right? But again, then we'll be looked as the party of mongrels, the party of violence, and people on the right, where we are not the party of violence. Even conservative libertarians. I consider a libertarian very much conservative. Some to a degree. Some of them. Some of them like to jump over the fence, to that other side of the fence. Like I said earlier in the program, the fence that has all the yellow dead grass that's not pleasant. Yeah, that's what you're going to find on the left. On the right, you're going to find beautiful green, majestic St. Augustine, beautiful grass. Not on the left. No. But Knights Templar. He says we should go Knights Templar on him, Nate. I don't know about that.
Sounds heavy.
It does. It does sound heavy. Now, I want to go into this here, okay?
I don't know that you could maneuver very well in that suit of armor.
Me neither. Now, I want to open up with this here. Now, Candance Owens, okay? Now, everybody, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, shortly after Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a left-wing maniac, folks. I have to put that out there. It wasn't MAGA. It wasn't none of that, So Jimmy Kimmel, get that out of your playbook. It was MAGA. MAGA did it. And then he was forced to apologize shortly after that because he knew that, he was bullshitting the entire way. But now Candance Owens, if you guys have been paying attention on X, she's been putting out videos saying that she doesn't buy one bit of anything that happened to Charlie Kirk, Nate. That's what she's saying. The open attack has come full force with Candance Owens. I knew she was a snake to begin with. I didn't buy any of her rhetoric. What do you think of Candance Owens? Do you think she could be trusted, or she's always been that typical Democrat? Because obviously, she claims that she's a conservative, but this is not conservative talking points here. I don't know one conservative that would speak like this, or at least the majority of conservatives. You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like she doesn't trust the FBI, and to be honest, have they given us any reason to believe them?
Well,
it's not enough to say, well, we got Kash Patel in.
Yeah.
You still have how many hundreds of thousands of agents? They still had that issue early on with the New York field office, not wanting to release the paperwork that they were demanded to with regarding to Epstein. So at this point, I would say that she has very little faith and trust in what the FBI is releasing in regards to this. And, I would say that I agree with her. There's a lot of open holes in what they're saying happened with regards to Tyler Robinson. Now, it's still an active investigation, and I'm sure there's a lot that they can't release. And, she was very, very close to Charlie Kirk for many, many, many years. She was there when TPUSA started. And, this may be that she's hurting. And this is how she's choosing to grieve.
Yeah. Yeah, Candance Owens is basically putting this claim out as well, and is also claiming that Charlie Kirk was too smart to be a Protestant and on the verge of Catholic conversion, all right, is both speculative and misleading. Now, she also says that Charlie was a Bible-believing Protestant who constantly affirmed his faith in Christ alone. Now, I don't know if you have any insights on this, or any views on this, but she basically quoted this, and I'll go into some paraphrasing because it's a very, very lengthy statement she made. Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end. Charlie was praying on the rosary. All right. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, "You're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie." He says, "Ha ha ha. You're speaking about Mary." So is Candance Owens opening up way too much about Charlie Kirk, or is she actually speaking the truth about him? I mean, there's a lot of people that say, he was fading away from, the Christianity of Judeo-Christian views, obviously, and going into more of a modern Christian. Back in the day, we would call them Protestants. Okay, basically, that's what she's insinuating. Charlie was, you know, reconverting to a modern Christian or otherwise known as a Protestant. I don't know. It's hard to say. You know what I mean, Nate? It really is. It's hard to say.
I don't have an answer to that either. Didn't seem like somebody who would pray over a rosary or be that heavily into the way the Catholic religion operates. He was very centered in his faith in Christ and that he is the way, the truth, and the light. Whereas in Catholicism, they prayed to Mary, who, if you're following your standard Christian beliefs, is just a human. So I would disagree with Candance Owens on that matter.
You would disagree? Yeah. Well, this is a video here I wanna basically bring in because this is actually the some of what I just mentioned here on the show. Now, this video goes into what kind of Charlie Kirk had went into with this basically this analogy of what Candance Owens had just basically kind of brought in here. Check this out, guys.
I want you to understand that we are in the middle of an epidemic.
Sorry about that, folks. We got the wrong video. God grief. One of these videos, I got to find it. 1 second. Oh, my God. This is embarrassing here. So, where the hell's it at here? Oh, my goodness. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that, folks. Here.
But I personally would not be able to enter into a faith that believes that anybody except Jesus Christ our Lord was without sin. And that's my final comment on Mariology. Happy to debate it.
Thoughts on that, Nate? So, I mean, he basically kind of went in exactly what Candance Owens basically labeled. I mean, so she's somewhat right. I mean, if you heard it correctly. I mean, I'll play it again so you guys can hear it. Listen to it again.
But I personally would not be able to enter into a faith that believes that anybody except Jesus Christ our Lord was without sin. And that's my final comment on Mariology. Happy to debate it.
So, I mean, basically, she's somewhat right if you think about it.
She said that he was praying over the rosary, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she said. That's exactly what
she said. But he's saying in that clip that he could not enter into any religion where you put anybody else other than Christ being without sin. So if you are praying to Holy Mary, or you're praying to St. Peter, or you're praying to anybody else other than Christ, you are claiming that they are without sin.
Okay.
God said you should put no other God before me. You don't pray to anybody else but God. So I would say that what he's saying goes against what she's saying.
I see where she's coming from. I'm not trying to defend Candance Owens. But if you look at the Protestant faith, now the Protestant faith more or less resembles very much of what he's just said. Okay? But it goes into depth a little bit. Okay? So, I mean, I do want to give her a little bit of credit. But, to my earlier statement, which I'm not derailing anything, folks, but like the way she brought in was that she doesn't believe, and this is what she's saying now. She doesn't believe that a person, and this is what she's saying, folks. I'll play the damn video of how she's insinuating this. She's basically saying that she doesn't believe one damn bit that a normalized kid, right, named Tyler Robinson, the young man that assassinated Charlie Kirk, had the motives or even the intel on taking him out. She doesn't believe that for one bit, Nate. She doesn't think that it was him that did it. And she's going on she's going on videos saying this. She's saying it all over X. I mean, it's out there. So is Candance Owens? I mean, is she is she delusional? I don't know.
Well, she may be trying to get sued so that she can get forced discovery brought out. You know, she's going full scorched earth. I mean, she's attacking anything that's anything. And it's maybe the same tactic she used with Bridget Macron.
It's a high possibility. Check this out. This is exactly what she's going into.
At me is the fact that Turning Point will not release the footage, okay? I don't understand it. Every excuse that I have been handed for why they won't release it makes no sense to me. If you are under pressure, if people are starting to look at you funny as an organization, if they're thinking that, whether rightfully or wrongfully, if they are suspecting because they see this footage of someone quickly remove the SD cards, that you guys had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and you quite literally have footage that in theory should vindicate yourself, why wouldn't you release it? Think about that. It's just in your own capacity. If somebody is saying you are guilty of anything, if they're like, Candance, you are absolutely guilty of breaking into my car, and I'm like, I have a camera right here that shows that I did not break into your car. Would it make sense if I was like, but I'm not going to release that? I'm not going to release that. Because it's not right. It's not right for me to release. What? It makes no sense. I don't understand why they would not release this. The idea that it's because, well, the feds are saying the feds cannot arrest you. Last I checked, the feds cannot bring charges against you for releasing footage that you own. And since when do we trust the feds? Certainly Charlie didn't. He didn't believe we were getting the truth about the Epstein files and things of that nature. So I don't accept that.
She's on that hard claim, Nate, with basically, I mean, she's saying she doesn't believe it. She doesn't buy it. I mean, she's could she be right? Could there be more to this? I mean, she is indirectly accusing the organization that Charlie Kirk founded, which was Turning Point USA, of covering up the murder and even being involved in it. She's basically going into that, Nate. This is the very same organization that she was once connected to, Candance Owens. She was connected to this organization. So, I don't know, man. That's a really, really, hard claim to put out there like that. You know what I mean?
Well, Candance Owens is, she's very good at what she does. She's got sources in a lot of different areas. And like I said, she may be trying to get sued. She may be trying to get forced discovery to come out. I don't have much that I can go on it with. She's far more involved in this than us average individuals on the street are. She knows something, and she is a dog on the hunt.
So you believe that she may be getting sued, but sued from where? Let's go into that assumption.
Trying to get sued.
Possibly you might be right. She might be getting sued. Sued by Turning Point USA or sued by another entity, another company or organization.
Well, you look at it this way, right? Let's just say I would start talking, bad-mouthing your organization, right? And you say, you know what you're saying is inflammatory, we're filing a lawsuit. Now, based on what I'm saying that's inflammatory, when discovery comes out, you guys obviously have to prove that what I'm saying, I am knowingly saying is false. So you would have to prove that aspect of it. So what she might be saying is, if she's trying to get sued, they would have to produce that video in discovery.
It's a high possibility. I mean, it really is. It's a high possibility. Guys, before we continue here, I do want to give praise to those that continue to partner with us and obviously help us make this show possible. I want to say thank you to one of our great long-term sponsors here and partners here of the show, Blackout Coffee. That's right, guys. At Blackout Coffee, they believe in one purpose and one purpose only: serving the most fresh, delicious amounts of coffee to you, the listener. For one, they don't believe in that woke bullshit. All right, they stand by their products, and they're a patriotic company founded by veterans. That's right, guys. That's right. The founder of their, John, which is a veteran, the United States military, had a dream and a vision. All right, right shortly before he retired from the military to develop a coffee company, a little different from the others. Right? It's not your typical Folgers. It's not your typical Maxwell House. Don't get me wrong; those are great companies. But what Blackout Coffee has that they don't have is they have organic value behind their name. What I mean by that, guys, is it doesn't give you the jitters. It doesn't give you crash. It doesn't give you any of that stuff. These folks are so passionate behind the craft of their coffee beans that they market right on their bottles and their containers and everything of that, guys. Check them out today. Scan this QR code today. And by checking them out, guys, we're going to give you 20% off with Savaged 15. That's right, guys. Savage 15. Go over to blackoutcoffee.com. Use promo Savaged. That's SAVAGED 15 for 20% off on your entire order. And tell them Savage from the Savaged Unfiltered show sent you. They're going to like it. Back to the show. So you're telling me that she might be getting sued, and this is the assumptions that she's getting at? But why would she do that, though? Even if she would.
I think she's trying to be sued. I think that what she's doing is to force them to file a lawsuit against her.
I got what you're saying now. Okay. So she wants to be sued. So she wants to make all this slanderous remarks so the company can pick up everything on her.
Well, again, if they sue her, they have to prove that she's wrong. And to do that, they would have to either show the video that she's saying that they won't show. She's trying to bring all of it to light through the court system, and that's what I would think. That's what I believe the tactic is. It's what she had happen with Bridget Macron when she said that Bridget Macron was a man. They sued her in Delaware. Now they haven't tried to prove it yet, but they're going to have to. Right. They're gonna have to prove that she's actually a woman.
That's right. Now, Candance Owens is known for like really out there left center field type of rhetoric. This was last year. She goes into Zionists, right? Check out more of what she says. I mean, the woman is like, she's out there, folks. Listen, I don't hold Candance Owens on a serious note, but some of the stuff that she says, I want to question. Check this out.
Do you think it's normal, by the way, that basically every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed? like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Excuse my language, but that is not normal. Okay, it's not normal. that people have to think about their security because, and by the some of it, then the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car, so there's not. I mean, he's a sitting president. I mean, obviously, my security doesn't really matter. If they want me, they're going to get me. That's not a normal thought process to have. We don't have that about any other country in the world, except for the one that took over ours, and that's the truth. Okay, we are an occupied nation, and if it's going to take women like having to speak up and say that to make permission, like to give permission to men to do the
She's
same,
out there.
then I'm happy to be the first.
She's out there. She really is. I mean, this was last year. This was like around August of 2020 2024. And she says this. And I'll paraphrase or quote a little bit of what she said. I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionist. Like 1000% blame the Zionist. So she wants to blame the Zionists if anything happens to her, Nate. Oof. I thought people like Whoopi and Joy are they're delusional. Don't get me wrong, but she's crazy stuff. Now, yeah, she's on that attack fence, Nate. She's questioning the entire thing. That this young guy here, Tyler Robinson, is not the one to be blamed. It's something bigger than that. She could be right. I don't know.
I would say he's certainly not the mastermind of it. He was certainly coached on it. He was certainly there's definitely going to be other people that were working with him on this. And that I for one do not believe he came up with this all by himself in 1 week.
I mean, I agree with her a little bit. What she's basically saying, like, okay, you got this 22-year-old kid, right? Right? A kid, he's a 22-year-old young man, okay? All right. That attended college, had a somewhat of a, normalized lifestyle earlier in his life with his parents and stuff. His parents loved him. All right. And, you see pictures all over the place with, restaurants and stuff it seemed like a normal kid. And then fast forward, years and years later, as he was attending college, his parents were excited that he got accepted to Utah State, and you could see videos that some of what the FBI has made public on social media of you can hear the mother in the background like with cheers and hey, hooray, hooray. But here's my question leading into this. When did he get radicalized? Because a normal person like that, you know what I mean? You're right, Nate. I mean, he wasn't the mastermind behind the weapon. There was other people involved. Now, was it possibly the guy that he was not only dating but had an affair with too? This Lance, what the hell? Lance something. I forgot the guy's last name.
Lance Twig.
Yeah, Lance. Yeah, Lance Twigs. Do you think it might have been that person that had some type of involvement? I mean, I'm just trying to put the pieces together here.
I mean, I would 100% believe that Twigs was, actively involved. I mean, Candace even came out with something on that members of his family had reached out to her and said that the way that the FBI is portraying Lance is not the type of person that he is.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole issue is getting really, really interesting. Just was it earlier last week? There was a report surfacing all over the internet with basically Lance Twigs abandoning their Utah townhouse. Okay, just literally leaving, and you see pictures. Obviously some neighbors and stuff that had noticed the strange activity of mail being piled up in front of the doorstep. And they noticed there was really, really no activity, with Lance, because obviously people would, I'm sure, not like spy, but neighbors would notice these things of him coming and going inside the townhouse there, the apartment. But now showing that he just left because there was reports of neighbors next to the unit seeing Twigs leaving that townhouse. Why is he leaving? Why did he up and go right away? You know what I mean? So it's questions that need to be asked. Could he be involved in this? Could the FBI or should the FBI question Twigs' motives even more, if there is motives to begin with? You know what I mean?
I think that, question everything. At this point, I would say question everything. Because as of late, nothing makes sense. Nothing.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And when we go to question it, the left gets crazy about it. They're like, no. Let the FBI handle it. Yeah, we're going to let them handle it. Of course. It's still an open investigation. But we don't have a right to question. A left-wing maniac, an organization, crime organizers are responsible for this. We need to question it. It's not coming from the right. There's no motive whatsoever. And I'm not just saying that because I'm conservative, okay? But I do not see any motive whatsoever that is coming from a right-wing, mentally ill person that handled this. I don't see it. I really don't. But they want to play that like it's our fault. Right-wingers are inciting the mayhem of what's going on. They're escalating events like this. Why would we do that? Let me ask you a question here, Nate. Why would President Trump, incite violence that led up to the demise of Charlie Kirk? Why would he do that? It just doesn't make sense. They were friends. He loved Charlie.
Those are the same people. Well, think about it. These are the same people that say that supporters of Trump worship Trump and they'll do anything that Trump says, but then turn around and say, oh, his supporters tried to kill him.
Okay, so you have, let's go there for a minute. You have two types of supporters of Trump. You have what's called diehard MAGA cultists, right? That will, like you said, that will agree to every little term that he says. Okay, he's never wrong. He's always right. Okay, and then you have regular Trump supporters that will challenge him on policies. They still support the man. They voted for the man. They're not cultists, but they will challenge him on certain policies. So where do we go from there? You know what I mean? Like who is it really right-wing motivated or right-wing influenced? I don't know. If you're going to say right-wing influence,
there's no reason.
But hold on.
There's no reason to pull violence out of it. At what point do you have anything on the right that pushes towards violence? They didn't riot after Charlie was killed.
No, I mean,
they didn't riot back during the Summer of Love riot.
Even the cultists, and even your MAGA cultists, they didn't riot. Like I mean, the radical right, right? We didn't. I mean, yeah, folks, you have two different types of supporters of Trump, right? You have the ones that won't deny it.
But something that I would think about is the left for the last, let's say, 10 years has been calling the right radical. You're radical, you're violent. You're radical, you're violent. You're radical, you're violent. Meanwhile, it's their side that is attacking and killing and destroying. And what do we see happening today with the right? They're now starting to say we need to become more radical.
Radical in what sense?
Are they
Radical
falling?
in defeating.
Well, now they want to start fighting back, right? They want to start fighting back. They want to start going eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Are they walking into a right? Of course, they have a right to be pissed, but are they walking into a trap?
A trap of what? What's this trap?
Well, you're becoming exactly what they've said that you are.
Okay.
Are you being baited? You know, you're in a very slippery slope. You're in a very dangerous slope. Politics isn't what it was.
Yeah. I mean, you might be right on that. I mean, but this trap that they're walking into, right? Is it the trap that is more or less going to set us up for possibly a loss of, congressional House seats during the midterms? Is this trap that you're talking about? Is this trap you're talking about going to set us up into further escalations of possibly a silver war? If not yet, we're already in one. So this trap could be a lot of different things, Nate. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Now, I want to play this video by Joe Pags, right? Does anybody know who Joe Pags is? Joe Pags is actually he's affiliated with Right Side News, right? So he does a lot of conservative talking points. Now, he put this out on also Real America's Voice, too. So he's affiliated with two of them. So he did a segment on Steve Bannon's War Room here. Check this out, guys.
I called 911, got the county sheriff. I said, I need to know, there's my address. This is who I am. Is there somebody at my house right now? She said, yes, sir, there is. We got a call. 2 dogs were shot dead. Family is hiding in the basement. I said, we're in Texas. We're in basements here. So listen, here's who I am. You probably know who yes, sir, we do. Public figure. This is probably a swatting. Tell the guy to put the gun down. Not down, like take it off, and just point the muzzle down. I'll come out with my hands up. Let's clear this up right now. There is no distress, no peril at my house. This is some bad guy hoping that I'll be killed by you guys. This is, as you said, Steve, assassination by cop if they can do it. And it was scary. Listen, I've got adrenaline in what we do every day, but I've never had adrenaline like this that I felt that night. And thank God these are good guys and gals. The police in this area are amazing, and where I live in Texas. And we were able to diffuse it pretty quickly. But Steve, I walked out, and when I walked out of my studio, my production studio, there was, in my backyard, I can see a bunch of flashlights. It ended up 7 county sheriffs or sheriff deputies were at my house, surrounding the house. Had I done something differently, we probably wouldn't be talking today.
No, this is the point. And I talked to MTG. We've been swatted a bunch of times in D.C. in our headquarters. I talked to MTG. She had the long gun right by her bed. She picked it up at first to walk to the door. If she had gone to the door, she'd have been dead. If you had gone outside, and they'd seen your weapon at all, you were a dead man. That's what they want. This is not fooling around. They want the police to shoot you and to assassinate you, sir. That's pretty clear?
Without any doubt, what you just said is true. This wasn't to scare me. This wasn't to say, hey, stop talking about Zelensky the way that you do. Hey, stop taking the right side or supporting, Trump. This was, we want the guy dead. We'd like to kill him, and here it's twofold for them, the bad guys. Steve, think about it. If I'm dead in my doorway, they get my voice.
Yeah, I want to put it on pause there. So, I mean, this is exactly what we're kind of elaborating here. From the left. The left wants this. I think this is. You see what I did there, Nate? Right? This could be the trap of what you're referring to, but on another scale of it, another example. They want you to do this, right? They want you to call the police. They want you to get all hysterical and everything else. And they want you to engage in the police like they engage in the police.
Well, you remember Biden said that Trump and his supporters are enemies of the state.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it in a speech. When the right starts to fight back, they're enemies of the state and they're terrorists. And when the left promotes violence and assaults and you confront them in the street, they're just passionate. They're passionate about what they live for.
They're passionate, right? Yeah. But I've heard a lot this past week with how we gotta, how we can combat, the left violence of America, which is literally setting us up as, a battleground of America's soul, more or less today. I've heard all of it this past week. How we can do it, how we can combat it, how we can engage properly with these lunatics. But again, how do you engage? They want you to engage, folks. They really do. They want you to engage and respond to their rhetoric. They know that. Well, let me retract that. Maybe some of them know that they're wrong. Maybe some of them don't understand that they could be wrong. But the ones that will acknowledge that, they know it. But they know you're going to respond as a normal person. So they want you to fuel that fire. They really do. Now, I want to play another clip here with Joe Pags here. Joe Pags is going on this here. Listen to this.
It's not going to stop happening, especially with the rhetoric the way that it is. The attacks on ICE by people in the media, by people on the left side politically, by governors, by mayors, and so on. This is leading to more people doing really bad things. There was an attack at an ICE facility this morning in the Dallas area. One person was killed, several others injured before the person took his own life. On the bullets that were left behind, it said anti-ICE. Clearly, there's a political motivation here. Clearly, there's a far left-wing motivation here. Clearly, the message is going out. When you call ICE Nazis or you call them Hitler, you call them fascist, people are going to respond this way. And you've got people lining up from the left saying, oh, our hearts go out to the people that were injured. No, you're doing this. You're literally doing this. They learned nothing from Charlie Kirk being assassinated. They learned nothing from all these attacks that are happening where an ICE agent was almost killed in Chicago recently. It just keeps on happening because they keep on fueling the fire. They literally must want this or else they would stop it. They should throw their hands up and say, okay, stop it now. Stop it.
Yeah, stop it now. They want that. They want you to shield, or unshield your positiveness. They want you to live in denial like they do. They want you to live in a negative state. Right? I mean, look, he's talking about ICE. Look what California's Governor Gavin Newsom is doing, Nate. He wants ICE people to show their faces, but he's doing it on a political stance. He's not caring about their protection or their privacy during that federal investigation. Does he understand why they have to wear the mask to begin with? I'm sure he does. He's somewhat of an intelligent person, right? He understands why. But he's doing it on a very, very biased type of motive of the narrative. He feels that if the maniacs on the street can't shield their faces, why should ICE agents do the same thing? Because they are federal investigators. They are federal agents. They have to shield their faces for privacy and protection because they do not want the instigators with the cameras basically plastering them all over social media, taking pictures of their license plates and this and that. Doesn't Gavin Newsom think that way? No, I don't think he does.
Well, for too long, the left had control over our three-letter agencies. They had the FBI doing their bidding and going after, you know, uh, conservatives, and now they don't have that. So what's the best way to get them back under the fold? Make them scared to do the job they were told to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And that's a threat on these people's families.
they don't see that, don't Nate? No.
How can, again, it goes back to, how can they expect the president to unite the citizens of the United States when the party that opposes him continues to tear down a rift, continues to create a rift, continues to create a problem and create division?
It's not going to get through their heads. It's not. When you have idiots like this, right, that put out videos and images where they basically fuck the fascists, fuck the fascists. Fascism is coming from your side. It doesn't come from the right. Drop that whole ideology out the window, please. Flush it down the toilet. Fascism does not resemble right-wing people. It represents the opposite of right-wing. These people are very uneducated on a lot of the narratives that they're protesting with. You know that, Nate? Like, they have no idea. If you ask them to define the word fascism, they'll tell you that it resembles somebody of a conservative of value or Republican standpoint. They will tell you that. They'll literally go right into that with you. They'll skip right over the actual definition of fascism. These people have no idea what the hell they're protesting. It's the same thing with Jimmy Kimmel, right? There was a gentleman here, and I'm going to close it out here, guys, because we're running low on the time here. There was a gentleman, I believe it was last week or the week before, right? Right around the time when Jimmy Kimmel was suspended. There was protesters outside of the studio that were trying to defend Jimmy Kimmel with signs saying "Free Jimmy." There was another sign saying "We are Jimmy Kimmel." So they were like mimicking and mocking the entire Charlie Kirk movement, that we are Charlie Kirk, right? And a guy, a brilliant guy, by the way, went right up to the supporters, right? And said, "Hey, why are you supporting Jimmy Kimmel?" And they went into their whole spiel and everything. And then right after that, right? After he said that, he walked up, like usually he would walk up to women, right? Not men. Well, no, you're going to get what I mean by this. And he said, "Hey, by the way, would you like to have sex with me?" And some of the women, like, they had confused looks on their face, and they were like, "No." And he's like, "Why not?" And she's like, or the woman that he was talking to was like, "I'm not gonna have sex with you. I don't know you." He says, "Well, that didn't stop Jimmy Kimmel during the Man Show when he would ask strange women on the street if they would have sex with him." And they Nate, I don't know if you see the video, but the looks on their faces was priceless because they had no idea what this guy was before the Jimmy Kimmel. They had no idea what he was about. It just shows, like, if you're gonna support somebody and handle out a protest like that, at least do your homework about somebody or about the movement that you're supposedly supporting. You're supporting a
Well, they don't have to know what they're
you're
talking about.
supporting a
They don't
pervert.
have to. They just have to.
That's what they were supporting.
Right. They just have to scream loud enough to make the headlines for their handlers in office to be able to spin a narrative, to push laws in place. That's all it is. They don't have to know what they're talking about. They just have to be the loudest ones to make the headlines so that their fascist handlers can push their fascist rhetoric and pass their fascist laws.
That's what it comes down to. They can be uneducated. They can be stupid people in this world. They can be the most idiotic type of crazy lunatic people in the world, right? Oh, you can name every name on them. They can be all that. As long as they make noise.
You can't fix
You're
stupid.
right on that. You can't fix stupid. As long as they pipe the noise, that's all they care about. That little 5-minute fame on TikTok. Let me do the TikTok videos, right? I know I'm going to get hits on this. Crazy stuff. But I do believe that Joe Pags, he nails it. The hateful rhetoric from the left. That's what you're seeing, folks. You are not seeing rhetoric from the right. Well, at least the rhetoric of what I'm insinuating. The rhetoric that you're seeing on the right is people trying to combat the very same hateful messages, racist messages, violent messages from the left. That's the rhetoric that we're battling. So yeah, we're inciting rhetoric on the right. Good rhetoric, not toxic rhetoric. So we need people like Joe Pags. We need people like Alex Jones, right? We need people like that more to come out. Educate the masses, not uneducate the masses like these idiots are doing on the street. Free Jimmy, free Jimmy. Oh, by the way, he was a pervert about like 20-something years ago, 25 years ago during the 90s. Did you know that? That don't matter. He's not a pervert anymore. He redefined his character. That's what you see now. That's what you see. So, I enjoyed having you on today, Nate. I really do. Guys,
I appreciate you inviting me.
This is a former libertarian candidate that ran for Florida's 14th district last year, and you put up a good fight. You really did. I'm surprised that you. And I'm going to be honest with you, Nate. When I seen the amount of votes coming in for you, I was sad. I mean, come on. 2,000 votes, a little over 2,000, 2,500,000 votes. And then you see Kathy Castor, right? That pulled in like, what was it? 399,000 votes. That's sad.
Well, I chose the wrong party to run with. If I ever decide to do it again, I wouldn't run it with the Libertarian Party. They don't even support their own candidates.
Apparently not.
So, but it was definitely an eye opener. It definitely I got to see what happens inside the world of politics, front and center, and it is every bit as ugly as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Are you going to go back into politics or no?
At the moment, I have zero desire to get back into politics. Yeah. I don't know what the future holds. We go at it day by day. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what gets laid on the heart. And I mean, if things continue to go where it's going, maybe I throw my hat in the ring in 5 or 6 years. I don't know, but at the moment, right now, I have zero desire to be involved in politics.
I was hoping for Robert Rochford to basically come in and help you out a little bit, with some of the votes, hopefully swing some votes towards you. But Robert was, 145,000 votes I'm seeing right now. But Kathy Castor, I guess that's what, the 14th district there in Florida, I guess that's what they wanted. They wanted a Democrat to run their district. And
she allocates a lot of funds for that area. As far as being for the district, she's not bad for the district. I don't agree with the policies that she votes for. But if you take a look at what the Florida Doge just pulled up, what's something like $279 million of incorrect funding or money that they can't explain.
And that also, I noticed too that the Committee on Energy and Commerce, that's questionable too in that district. Where's the money going to the commerce and the manufacturing and the trade and the technology? Kathy, please explain. I'd love to understand. Because that's a hot market over there in Western Florida, right? On the Gulf of America. That's a really hot market for technology, distribution, manufacturing. There's a lot of companies over there. Where did that money go all into those organizations and those companies? It's questionable.
I would absolutely doubt it.
So, thanks a lot, Nate. You're always welcome back on the show. You know that. But just keep on pushing. Maybe along the line, man, you can run for like a smaller seat, obviously a smaller role, maybe like a council. Have you thought of that or?
Yeah, at the moment, like I said, I've no interest in being involved in politics. But again, that could change. But right now, I'm happy turning wrenches.
I'm happy doing what I do right now. I would never be a politician. There's too much stress in it. I would probably have white hair after a year, if not yet. I mean, my salt and pepper.
It's too much about the money.
It is.
The most qualified individual is never the one that gets elected. It's the most marketable person that gets elected. And those are the easiest people to control when it comes to money. You see it every single day, but people that came in speaking what you wanted to have happen, and then their lobbyists and their donors, they get them to sway the votes based on the money that goes into their pockets.
Absolutely. Well, Nate, have a good day, buddy, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Take it easy. So where do we? Good friend of mine, Nate Snyder. I've had him on my show more than a few times. I'm just really upset he lost that race last year. Congressional seat for the 14th district there in Florida. I was hoping to, obviously, see some improvements there. Obviously, like I mentioned, I got into the distribution, the manufacturing, the technology, all that stuff, guys. That's a hot area for all of it. And I just wish that that Nate had that opportunity. Young guy, really. But he lost against Nancy Pelosi's swap dog, so to speak, Kathy Castor. And she dominated that race, of course. She's got, like Nate said, she had a lot of money going into it. Nate coming in as an outsider, just trying to make change for his district. But I guess his district wanted to be run by corrupted Democrats. Go figure. Guys, I want to close it out. I want to say thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Those that joined in the chat there, Bones over there on X, appreciate the hell out of you for checking us out today. Remember, guys, if you miss these live streams, always jump over to Spotify. Okay, we are exclusively housed on Spotify, or you can catch us on Apple Music or iHeartRadio. Just about anywhere you can find a podcast, we're on that. Also on TikTok, guys, we constantly put out some content over there, snippets, clips, all that good stuff, guys, including X. Follow me on X. Just search Savage, and I come right up. Other than that, guys, thanks very much for joining us, guys. We'll be back next Tuesday. So join us then, guys. Take it easy, and see you next time.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.